Hi, and thanks for joining me in the Adobe Illustrator in Under 10 tutorial series where we explain techniques in Adobe Illustrator in under 10 minutes. In this tutorial, we're going to discuss three panels. That is our color guide, and swatches panel. And in order to get these panels open, we're going to go to Window, go down to Color, click it, Color Guide, and then Swatches, and make sure they're all open. If your setup is like mine, you'll notice that on the left-hand side they'll be there. If not, they're usually on the right-hand side. And so after doing that, what we're going to do is we're going to drag out three rectangles. I already have mine set up, and I chose magenta as my color to make it easier. And I'm just going to explain what these menus or these panels actually do. So I'm going to highlight the first rectangle. If we look in our color panel, we'll notice that we have it in CMYK mode. That's where mine is. Yours may not be there, but in order to change the mode, we click the upper drop-down options box, and we could change it to grayscale, RGB, hue, saturation, and brightness, CMYK, or web safe RGB. Now, grayscale mode. We click that, we get a slider that goes from 0 to 100, going from brightness to shades. So it's basically all white to all black. If we were to go and click RGB, it goes from 0 to 255 for red, green, and blue. And then we could change these using the sliders accordingly. It also has a hex code at the bottom, which you'll notice in many of the color options. If we were to click HSB, it's hue, saturation, and brightness. The slider saturation and brightness go from 0 to 100. Saturation governs how much white is in there or how much of the hue, whereas brightness governs how much black is in or how much of the hue from 0 to 100. Hue actually goes from 0 to 360 degrees in the whole color spectrum. On the left-hand side, you'll also notice if you may get gamut warnings and out of color warnings. If you click those, it'll correct it. Sometimes when you click the other one will show up again, but you got to finagle it to make sure you get the colors properly. If you were to click CMYK, this mode actually goes from 0 to 100 for all four sliders. That's cyan, magenta, yellow, and key color, which is black. And then web safe RGB, the difference between that and regular RGB is this allows you to input letters as you have hex codes that have letters in them. So if I double clicked AA and clicked off, you'll notice that it changes accordingly. Now at the bottom we have invert and complement that allows us to take the current color and invert it from that color or complement it from that color. Very simple when you're actually utilizing something that you want to work harmoniously with another color. So we're going to drag this color out twice. And I'm going to give it some space. So I'm going to select these three and let's space them out like that. The first I'm going to go over and invert. The second I'm going to complement. And you'll notice that they look similar, but they are different. If you look in the actual panel, I'm going to change it to RGB. And you're going to notice the color values are very different. 109, 199, and 183 versus 31, 171, and 143. Now, you also have an option of clicking this and then going into the spectrum window underneath, and you can choose and pick which color you want to be applied there. All right, so that's pretty much it for our color panel, which makes us jump down. I'm skipping over color guide and going to swatches first. And in the swatches panel, you can click the options and you'll notice that some of these correspond to what is in the bottom of the window. So our new swatch we can get by clicking this button. We can get our new color group by clicking this button. New swatches create new swatches. Color groups basically create folders where you keep those colors that you selected in there as a group. If I had a swatch selected, I could duplicate it. I can merge swatches. I can delete a swatch or ungroup a specific color group. It will then remove the folder and I'll be able to use them individually. I can select all unused colors. Usually use that if there are too many that are in the group that you are not actually using. You could delete them so there's no clutter. I can add used colors for the artwork that's on my board that I may not have added to the swatches menu, and it will add them. I can sort them by name, the type, meaning pattern or symbol, whatever type of actual swatch we have listed there. Then I can show the find field and I can type in the name of the swatch. I can change the thumbnail view from small, medium, or large. We're in thumbnail view now. Or I can change the list view and I can change it from a smaller one to a larger one. I can select spot colors. I can open different swatch libraries, which you'll also find in the lower left hand portion of this window. And I can change, let's say we go to earth tone. And now we have earth tones. I'm actually going to change this back to small thumbnail view. And if I were to click this, it's going to appear in my swatches menu. So let's say I click this. Now I have it in my swatches menu. It also is reflected in my color guide. All right, so I'm going to X this out. And now that I have this, I have the ability to then move up in my color guide menu and I can actually change things there. But before I do that, I want to explain that there are a couple of options I did not cover that are below. The actual cooler menu is a completely different animal, and I don't want to touch on that right now, but it's more so for color theory, creating different color combinations both online and within Adobe Illustrator. And then one of the other things is you have your swatch kinds menu, which allows you to change what's viewed. So if I want to just show color groups like the folders, I click that and it'll only show me the folders. If I were to click patterns, it'll only show me patterns, gradients, and just color swatches all together. And then I could just show all swatches. So it makes it very, very easy for you to organize it. This is an organization tool. You can also change the way that it's viewed just by clicking on the grid or list view icon. So swatches or list view, and that's how you would get that. Now we move up to our color guide menu. And in this particular panel, in our options, we have various settings that we can change from. Right now, we note we have muted and vivid. If we were to change it from muted and vivid, we can go to tints and shades or warm and cool. Now, warm adds more reds, cool adds more blues, tints and shades, shades adds blacks, tints adds whites, and vivid and muted is more of a heavy hue. Completely saturated, muted is desaturated or completely gray. And that's essentially where it goes according to those color lines. Now, if we were to click this and we were to go to color guide options, we can actually change the number of steps that we have in our color guide. And we can also change the variations in between to lessen it or make it greater. So it's a huge transition from gray in this instance to vivid, or less of a transition. Now you notice it's more subtle because it changes the endpoints to make them less extreme. And then we could also change the steps again accordingly. So I'm going to change this and make it go all the way up. I'm going to click OK, and I'm actually going to go to show warm or cool. And you'll see the differences as we do it there as well. Okay. Now in the lower left hand corner, we can actually change to limit it to specific, let's say we click beach, libraries like we did at the end of the swatches panel or in the bottom of the swatches panel. And we could change it from warm to cool, the tints and shades or vivid and muted as well. And we also have another option here. That's for editing colors. And if we were to do that, we can click this and then we could change these colors. And as we change it, it'll change the colors respective to one another within our color guide panel. So let's select this in our swatches menu. I'm going to click all of these and I'm going to go into recolor. And now it's recolored our artwork according to what we have selected. Okay, and I can click recolor art so I can view it as it's happening and it's recording this live. I'm going to click edit and I can change the sliders and you'll notice that these pieces change in accordance. I can click any point and change it and they'll all stay with the same values in between with respect to one another as we change it. So this is a very useful tool. And then we can actually save these out and back into our actual area over here for our swatches. Let's click OK. Yes, and I just saved those into the swatch area. Okay, so it's very, very useful if we wanted to do it that way. We can also save the color group to the swatch panel by clicking it that way, and it'll save it as well. Now, these are the same, but because I clicked it twice, it did it twice for me. I just wanted to show you how they both work. So it's fairly simple to use, fairly easy. You just got to get familiar with it and make sure that you're practicing these things, and you'll notice how useful it is in coloring your artwork. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can find me online at www.theonewillfocus.com or on all social media at TheOneWillFocus, all spelled out, TheOnewillfocus. And I look forward to seeing you in the next tutorial. Take care.